Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the range. Today we're going to be doing two things in one video. I know, magic for Trigger Bar. We're going to be reviewing the new Garmin Xero. We're going to also be looking at a pretty cool custom rifle chambered in a Wildcat cartridge. You better stay tuned to find out what's happening. Let's get to shooting. Hey everybody, we're going to have a fun time today. We're going to be looking at a custom rifle. We're also going to be taking a look at the Garmin Xero. I'll post in the time slot that you need to skip to if you're only interested in the Garmin Xero. We're going to be looking at a totally custom gun here, a rifle, which was made and based off of a new Wildcat cartridge, which is gaining some popularity, but as with all Wildcats, they each have their own flavor, so let's dive into it. So what we're going to look at is what is technically called the 7 PRC-W MH or Mono Hunter, but it's really a 6.5 PRC that's been necked up to 7mm. And here what I have is I'm showing it in comparison to a 308 rounds, just so that you can get an idea for the size comparisons. So I'm just going to be showing some footage of my friend and I. This is my friend's gun. It's not my gun, but I'm going to be showing some footage of my friend and I shooting his rifle for what is the first time. My friend has shot about 200 rounds through it at this time. And we're also going to be taking a look at the new Garmin Xero. And as you can see, the velocity that's going out of this 153 grain Hammer Hunter bullet. And so we can see that's pretty good velocities, up around 2,900 feet per second. And we really just want to talk about what is the process that my friend went through to build this gun. Also, what is the process that and why perhaps you might go through all that's necessary to build this gun. So what he started off with a 6.5 PRC case, necked it up to 7. From there, he went and he designed a reamer and worked with a fantastic shop called JGS Precision to create the reamer so that you can create the chamber in the barrel. He decided to make the chamber just a little bit longer, 1/10 of an inch longer, so that there was a little bit of more of a jump from the lands, from the bullet into the chamber or into the rifling of the barrel. A lot of the monolithic bullets like a little bit longer of a lands type jump. And so from there, he had always kind of wanted to shoot bullets that were in the range of 150 grain to 160 grain. So he's been looking at the Hornady CXs, the Hammer Hunter, HHTs, and trying to get something, where he could get a 150 grain bullet going 2,900 feet per second. So his goal with this rifle was to create a lightweight cartridge that had the recoil that was in the range of a 308, maybe a little bit more, but had a significant improvement in sectional density of the bullet, which is why he chose something in the 7mm caliber, is for its exceptional sectional density. It's really kind of just, you peak out at that, meaning you have a lot of oomph and weight behind it, but you also have just tremendous ballistic efficiency or low drag efficiency with that round. For the gun itself, he went with a stock from Mesa Pure Precision, a carbon fiber stock. And he went for the action. He went with a Tikka long action. The interesting thing about this round is it can be shot out of a short action if you shorten the bullet down a little bit, or it can be used in the way he designed it was to be used with a long action. And so that's why he went with the Tikka, is because one action can be adjusted between long and short. The mag he went with is Hell's Canyon Armory, a 6.5 PRC. The barrel he went with Hell's Canyon Armory Heavy Hunter contour, and it's their 21-inch threaded barrel with a carbon fiber overlay over a steel. He also went with a single point cut, and it was hand lapped, and it has a 1-in-8 twist on the rifle. He says that if he were to do it all over again, he would have gone with the Summit contour instead of the Heavy Hunter contour. For the scope, he ended up going with a Trijicon Tenmile 3-18 with NightForce 6 screw rings, and I'll show that at the end, and a NightForce rail. And then for the suppressor that we're using today, it's a Silencer Central Banish 30, but he does have a Thunder Beast Ultra 7 Gen 2 on the way. Altogether, the rifle is about 10 pounds. And he does have a few more things that he plans to get done with it. He's going to be doing some Cerakoting of various parts of the stainless that you see. But for the most part, the gun is set up and is shooting. So let's just take a look at how well this rifle is shooting. So far, 4 people have shot it, and they range from experienced shooters to not experienced shooters. Before we get into that, let's take a look at how I was shooting it. So we take a look at my first shot group, and these are the first 3 rounds that I shot through it, and that is pretty awesome. It measures somewhere around 0.4 inch is at 100 yards, which is pretty awesome. So sub half-inch MOA, that's pretty amazing out of this rifle. These are the first 3 shots that I shot out of the rifle, having never shot it before. I would say that's pretty incredible. I think that the rifle is performing at exactly where my buddy had hoped and planned to get it. And so I think that's just really exciting. As I go back and I talk about all 4 people that have shot the rifle, including this day that my buddy and I were out at the range, we took a guy who had never shot a bolt-action rifle before in his life, and he shot a group that was a little bit and slightly less than 1 inch MOA with it. So I think the rifle is extremely accurate. But again, that may be one reason that you want to build a precision rifle. My friend really had a couple of things in mind. He wanted to sort of, quote unquote, build the ultimate elk hunting rifle, something that had enough takedown power and that could provide enough significant impact on an elk while doing something that had ultra high precision. He also didn't want a super long barrel, and I believe that's really one of the reasons he went with the Wildcat Cartridge, was so that he could custom create the type of round that he wanted and the performance that he was trying to get out of. And in particular, yes, there are more powerful rounds. 7 PRC would have been more powerful, but it also has a little bit more recoil than what he was wanting, and he's able to get the performance out of this barrel, and it gets close to the 7 PRC velocity specifications, but gets it in a little bit shorter barrel and also with just a little bit less recoil in it. And so pretty attractive rifle for hunting and for precision shooting. The 6.5 -7 PRC right now is a little bit of the hotness and going out 1,000 yards and beyond. And so it does appear to have that just kind of sweet spot for sectional density and target shooting and accuracy that you can get on a rifle system. A couple of the other rounds that my buddy looked at was a 7 MMO8, a 7 SAW, 7 Sherman Short, and a 7 Sherman Tactical. And then also, of course, the 6.8 Western. He really stayed away from the 6.8 because, again, 7mm is about that perfect spot for sectional density. Also did a lot of work on 7 SAUM, but for brass availability, for a number of reasons, it was just easier to go with this round for the specifications he was looking to get. Next, let's take a look at my accuracy that I was getting when I had a suppressor on. Yep, that's my 3-shot group. That may very well be the best 3-shot group that I've ever shot in my life. I'm very proud of it, and so yes, I'm including it in this video because lightning won't strike twice. What we have there is a 0.14 inch MOA. So Trigger Bar is just going to brag a little bit, but as you can see, it was from a custom rifle, custom bullets made by my friend who's extremely meticulous to make sure that everything is done in a precise manner. 275. Ready. Hit. Okay, so before we move on to the Garmin Xero review, I just want to close up. One of the cool things is that Atlas Development Group is now building brass for this specification, so that makes this rifle even better for reloaders and builders. Here's a picture of the reamer that's used to ream out the barrel for this cartridge and his quote-unquote test cartridge that he sent to the reamer to be built. Let me know what you guys think. Is this something that Trigger Bar should embark on? I'm not going to probably design my own cartridge, but I would just borrow his cartridge and use this reamer. You can get kind of cool. You can get 10 to 15 barrel reams out of one reamer. So something I'm starting to think seriously about. Okay, now let's just take a quick look at those NightForce scope rings. As you can see, they each have 3 screws that tie it down and really set it. That was really important for my buddy because he had been on an elk hunt, dropped his rifle, lost Xero on it, and then actually missed shooting his elk. So that's really important to him now. Let's get on to the Xero. So when you first turn it on, you're going to be faced with this screen. You're going to click New Session. And then you'll have a bunch of options: rifle, bow, air rifle, other. Well, this is going to help select the velocity. Let's choose rifle. And then within that selection, we can still make some selections. Are we 600 to 1700 feet per second, 1700 to 5000? That'll help the sensitivity of the device to be able to pick up the round. We're gonna go on the top ones, 1700 to 5000. Do we want to enter a weight of the projectile? That way it can help us enter energy foot-pounds and other calculations. We're going to enter in the weight of the projectile that we're going to be shooting today with this 7-6.5 PRCW cartridge. And it gives you a little helpful hint that you need to be 5 to 15 inches away left to right and 5 to 15 inches away from the end of the muzzle. And then you click OK, and then the device is ready to record your velocity. And then as you're shooting, you're going to be having a min, an average, and a max, and it auto-calculates it. If you're used to watching my videos with my lab radar, I always turn it off and on to see what it's calculating, but this keeps it right in front of you at all times. And you can also see that it can be connected to the phone for downloading the information. Okay, this was the 5-shot group that we had. It's a summary, a session summary, and this is how it shows up in the app, which is pretty awesome. You can go down through each of your shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at your averages. That's pretty amazing. And up here it's showing the ballistic energy. That round, 2,900 foot-pounds. That's a lot of energy. Another look at the session summary. Min, max, average, standard deviation. Okay, let's just take a quick look at the size difference between the Garmin Xero and the lab radar. It's just, this lab radar is massive. Look, hand size. This Garmin is so tiny. Packs up this nice little case. He has a gray ops cover on it to protect it. But man, look at the size difference. This all packs away. This is the case for the lab radar. Man, just such a big difference in size. So big. All right, well, I think as we've seen today, the Garmin Xero performed phenomenally, and what a small little package. Yeah, I know about all the jokes. Ha 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 ha. All right, but that thing is just a perfect range companion for you to be able to get quick ballistics information if you're a reloader, or if you're trying to get your dope when you're trying to get your drop out on longer range targets. Man, if you're in the market for some type of ballistic calculator or speed radar or chronograph, I think the Garmin Xero is a fantastic option. And then talking about this 7-6.5 PRCW rifle, man, what a freaking amazing rifle. Super lightweight, super shootable. As you saw, I think I shot the best groups of my life in there. That 0.2-inch group was just sort of the highlight of my day for me. I'm on cloud 9. And the 0.6 group that I shot before that wasn't bad. Suppressed, unsuppressed, what a fantastic cartridge. Let me know what you think. If you've ever worked on a Wildcat cartridge, if you've ever thought about doing your own custom gun, is it worth the trouble? Is it worth the effort? I would say from my friend's perspective and him doing all the work and me doing all the shooting, it's definitely worth it. So if you have a buddy like mine, you can get him to do all the work and then you get to enjoy it. That's a match made in heaven. Let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everyone have a great week, and let's get to shooting.